Hi YouTubers, welcome to another video. This one I'm entitling Super Providers. So, Super Providers, the Luke Cage team. Now, I don't know how many of you are Marvel fans, but if you ever watched this series, Luke Cage, this guy is super strong and bullets just bounce off him. So he can do all sorts of things that the average person can't do because of his invulnerability to bullets. Well, we need the same thing for our healthcare providers, and we can do this. Presumably, anyone who has been infected and recovers is immune. And so those people can be on the front lines with relative impunity, with no more precautions than they would have taken prior to this pandemic. And if they're put on the front lines, the people who aren't immune, haven't had COVID-19, can be providing other supporting roles without direct care. Now, our main tool for personal protective equipment is this N95 mask. So, N95, just to explain to you for those who haven't bothered Googling it, N means that it's not resistant to oils, and 95 means that it blocks 95% of the particles from going through it. And that's assuming, again, that it's been properly fit. 95% is not 100%. That means 5% of the particles can get through that thing. So it's not surprising that so many healthcare workers are becoming ill with COVID-19 despite the use of personal protective equipment. They do everything right, and a certain percentage are still becoming sick and infected. And as you know, a certain percentage of those will become extremely ill, go on a ventilator, and even die. So, we should form a registry of the healthcare providers who have either been tested positive for COVID-19 and recovered. And we also need to ramp up the testing. We haven't really even begun it, of testing for antibodies. And I know there are all sorts of experts who are saying we don't need to do the antibody test. It's not helpful. What are we going to do with it? Well, with the antibody test, we can then tell who has had it and recovered from it. And those people are the super providers. They are protected. Again, every encounter with a patient, if you're a doctor, you're a nurse, or another support healthcare provider, medical assistant, nurse practitioner, whatever, and you are having contact with a patient, even if you're wearing personal protective equipment, each encounter is a game of Russian roulette. In the sense that bullet's going to fire each time, but, not necessarily. I mean, if a person doesn't have COVID-19, that bullet's not going to fire. But your armor isn't perfect. It only is blocking 19 out of 20 bullets. So that means over time, with enough encounters, you're going to get it. And this is where we are now. And we do have the ability to ramp up the testing and get track the registry of who's immune to the virus, and then prioritize the placement and allocation of personnel to restrict direct contact with patients as much as possible with the people who have been identified as immune. Now, this isn't just doctors and nurses. This is our whole country, the whole world, in fact, because you know our society's function doesn't just depend on healthcare workers. There are all sorts of support services: the police, the firemen, the truck drivers, the manufacturers. Everybody's role in society is important, and the registry should be compiled for those people as well, because we're on shutdown. People have been laid off from work, and despite that, because of our delayed response to this pandemic, uh, there's a huge population out there who are becoming infected, most of whom are going to recover. And if we compile this registry of recovered patients, those people can then begin to resume their prior occupations and restart the economy as the pool of immune people, the new Luke Cages, accumulate, and uh, we now have a population of super providers, not just for healthcare, but for all services. So, this is my thought for today, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you.